Your personal life may be a mess, but it pales in comparison to Sex Life's Billy Connolly, who is willingly wading into dangerous waters as the provocative drama returned for Season 2. The first season, which premiered almost 2 years ago on Netflix, followed Billy as she struggled to decide whether to continue her marriage to straight-laced banker Cooper, Mike Vogel, or to begin an affair with ex-flame Brad, Adam Demos. In a shocking turn of events, she chose the latter, but her infidelity was quickly discovered by Cooper, who angrily declares their marriage to be pretty much over in the most recent Sex Life Season 2. Netflix's Sex Life, created by Stacey Rukeyser, is an erotic romance drama series centered on Billy Connolly, Sarah Shetty, and her complicated love life. Billy deals with the consequences of her actions in Season 2 while still looking for a happy ending. Cooper realizes how unsuitable he has become for single life and embarks on a destructive path. Brad tries but fails to find happiness away from Billy, and an old flame returns to Sasha's Margaret of that life. Here's everything you need to know about the ending of Sex Life Season 2. Just before the first season ended, Billy rushes to Brad's home and tells him she is not leaving her husband before asking him to make love to her. The second season follows immediately. Billy and Brad begin kissing, but Brad quickly stops and reveals that he met a model named Kiki Wallace-Day, who is now pregnant. Realizing she can't keep this from Cooper, Billy returns to Connecticut to tell him, only to find that he already knows. He installed a tracker on her phone and found Billy had paid a visit to Brad. He applies for divorce, and they start co-parenting their children, each spending half a week with their son and daughter in Connecticut. When Sasha returns to town from her book tour, she persuades Billy to accompany her on a date. This is how she encounters Majid Darius Homanian, an ambitious Iranian restaurateur. Billy is initially hesitant to enter into a relationship with Majid, but she soon learns they are similar in many ways. Both have defied convention and made significant sacrifices for their goal. While Billy destroyed her marriage in order to be honest with herself, Majid left behind a lucrative job in finance in Doha to open his restaurant in New York. However, as their relationship develops, Billy learns that Brad is an investor at Majid's restaurant, and she now has to watch him build a family with someone who isn't her. Meanwhile, Cooper allows his life spiral out of control. He first becomes engaged with his boss, Francesca Lai, who has had feelings for him since the first season. When Francesca's relationship is revealed, she is fired, prompting Cooper to quit his position and work for a profit-driven finance company, which goes completely against his principles. His relationship with Francesca, however, does not offer him peace or the relief he seeks from heartbreak and pain. He almost sleeps with Devon's wife, Trina, Amber Goldfarb, but his son Hudson steps in on them. Cooper embarks on an alcohol and cocaine-fueled wild ride after the divorce is finalized, nearly killing him and Devon. Hudson goes AWOL while out with Majid in the season final. His distraught parents discover common ground as they search for him and come to terms. With the introduction of Majid in the second season of Sex Life, Billy's romantic life becomes even more complex. Majid is gentle and considerate, and he appears to get along well with Billy's children. But as the season continues, cracks appear in the relationship. Majid shares more similarities with Cooper than with Billy, and if the relationship lasts long enough, Billy will make the same mistakes she made with Cooper. Majid sees he is not ready for fatherhood after Hudson goes missing and Majid's restaurant nearly burns down. But being in a relationship with Billy invariably means being in a relationship with her children, so they finally decide to split up. Cooper eventually admits to Billy that he has been hurting since their separation. Cooper begins to rebuild himself with the assistance of his sibling. He enrolls in group therapy and learns to tolerate Brad's presence in his ex and wife's children's lives. He reunites with Emily, his former girlfriend, and the woman who has always been the perfect match for him. Near the conclusion of the season, he subsequently tells Billy that he intends to propose to Emily. Cooper and Billy's relationship does not have a happy ending, but it does come to a conclusion in which they are both pleased that they gave 8 years of their lives to each other. Early in the season, it is established that Brad is Billy's passion, just as she is his, and the entire plot revolves around that. Brad has a son with Gigi and works hard to forget Billy, but their feelings for each other do not fade. After Brad's company fails, Gigi decides to leave him. Sasha invites him to her wedding, where he reunites with Billy as he finds himself on his own path to rebuild himself. The season concludes with Billy and Brad marrying and the former informing the latter that she is expecting. For the two of them, life has come full circle, returning everything they had lost along the road. Sasha has a new romantic companion this season. Her first passion is Cam. He'd been accepted to Stanford for years and had requested Sasha to accompany him. Despite her initial acceptance of his marriage proposal, her grandmother ultimately talked her out of it. Sasha went on to pursue her education and profession, eventually becoming the successful psychologist and author she is today. Sasha has built a name for herself by advocating for independent women to be able to do what they want, when they want, with whomever they want. While Cam's reappearance in her life opens up new possibilities for the future, Sasha quickly learns that it directly contradicts her job trajectory, which requires her to be single, according to her new agent. She struggles to balance the two aspects of her existence. Sasha publicly distances herself from Cam after an innocent gesture on his side is overblown on social media. This would have been the end of Sasha and Cam's relationship, but Cam not only recovers from the humiliation, but also announces that he will be traveling to Singapore shortly to establish a branch of his nonprofit organization. When he invites her to join him, Sasha is faced with the same predicament she faced 17 years ago. Her grandmother tells her not to follow Cam again this time, but Sasha understands that true freedom comes from the ability to choose, and she chooses to be with Cam in Singapore. As Sasha arrives at the airport and informs Cam that she has decided to accompany him, he reveals that he has decided to remain in New York and be with her. They eventually marry and attend Billy and Brad's nuptials. Billy was a Columbia University psychology PhD candidate who was compelled to drop out. This season, she returns to school to finish her PhD. The split allows her to spend more time away from her children, which she uses to complete her dissertation, The Power and Joy of Sex and Life. It's a synthesis of Billy's life, from her wild college days to her married life with Cooper, and what she confronted after her divorce. Billy gets her PhD after her dissertation is accepted. Cooper holds a party for their friends and family to celebrate the occasion.